point is, the end result is the same.
Duty calls.
I have searched the world over for you.
That is so cool.
You guys all just have this really tight bond.
Just call me the computer whisperer. He seemed so nice and normal.
You don't want to come back to my place?
The bleach smell makes me nauseous.
I thought it was going to be a slow night.
It's fucking fantastic.
I love that sound.
Can we go now?
Welcome to Beer with Buffy, everyone. I'm Josh.
I'm Rex.
And today on Beer with Buffy, we're going to be reviewing As You Were, Season 6, Episode 15 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's a Riley episode.
Yeah. You haven't seen Riley in a bit?
Yeah. No, we have not. And he just pops up out of nowhere like he didn't go anywhere at all with a fancy new scar on his face, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, you know what, guys? The best way that you can support us, if you'd like to do that, if you like us, which I'm assuming you do if you're listening to this, you do like us, right? Right? Oh, God, tell me you like me. Anyway, review us on iTunes.
Yes.
I'm trying to pull it up on my phone right now. I haven't checked if we have any new iTunes reviews.
Doesn't look like it.
Nope, still 76. And that's just fine. But once we get to 100, we're going in increments of 25 for now, unless we hit some sort of critical mass and start to get a lot more reviews. Once we get to 100, we'll give away another free hoodie. We've done it a couple times before. We will continue to bribe you for your love and our algorithm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting how a review kind of makes us jump up on searches and such.
Indeed. Well, not on Indeed, because, that's...
Right.
We're not applying to work with us. We're not...
Which I really hope you're not applying to work with us. We don't have any money to give you.
And we didn't post any jobs, so that's weird. You're being weird, guys. Stop being weird. I'm not weird. You're weird.
I mean, to be fair, they listen to this podcast, so they have to be at least a little bit weird.
More than likely a lot of bit weird.
Yeah.
So weird, in fact, that they enjoy weird phrases like, fuck a doodle-doo, and being called doodle-doos.
Yes. Because
that's what we call our Patreon supporters.
I feel weird because, I basically just handed you all the stuff that has to be done in the opening.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm a freeloader.
That's how we do it. I mean,
I'm a burden.
I've been trying to tell you this for years, man. You said it, not me.
Yeah.
Oh. Imagine your spouse would have some words to say about that.
Yeah.
Get a job. Or don't. That's fine. You seem much happier.
I am.
It's fine. We can just do it. This is your job. We're podcasting.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Definitely.
Pro bono.
So our doodle-doos are, without further ado, Joshua, what are you doing, Joshua? Angelica Tinkerbell Matheson, Pixie Dark, Elon Berna Tesla Bond, Tracy Kidd, finally figured out name change meow, Monica Fonseca Excellentez, Tasuba Spike, Audrey Two French last names, check out my band Cryptids, Allie B, Nathan Lancy, Dulcinea, Rachel Doodle Doo, Seal Hole Emporium, Mr. Tabalicious, Sandra Craig, Jay Sommer, Karen Moon, Leroy Jenkins, Kelly MC, Jesse Rain, Alex from the Heart, and Carrie Phillips.
Thank you so much. Without you, this show literally is not possible.
You're all bad people, but in the best way. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all that's taken care of. I think it's time for a mom synopsis, and we'll get on with this damn show.
Joshua! What are you doing, Joshua? Hoarding eggs. Do you have any idea how expensive these damn things are right now? Oh, honey, don't get me started. It's these tariffs and the fascism, Joshua. Oi. Oh, what? Sure, real life. That's great. No, I'm doing it smart though, Mom. You'll see. I'm going to take these eggs, and I'm going to sell them to a foreign military power, and I'm going to be rich. Rich, I tell you. Christ on a cracker, Joshua. What are these? Mutant ostrich eggs? Where did you get these? Would you believe me if I said the grocery store? No, I wouldn't fucking believe you, Joshua. Why are they slimy and making noise? All right, just calm down. I'm holding on to them for a friend. Oh, no, Joshua. I've seen the gremlins. I know how this goes. Did you get the mogwai wet again, Joshua? Hey, don't mix IPs with me. I don't need anybody telling me these are knockoff demon eggs, all right? Damn it, Joshua! A face hugger's gonna jump out of this and hump my face and skitter around in the attic until a xenomorph crawls out of the ceiling and I have to fight it with a mech suit? Where am I gonna get a mech suit, Joshua? Okay, first of all, the face huggers don't become xenomorphs. They burst out of your chest after they lay eggs in your torso. And what did I say about mixing IPs? Never in the house. And that's how you circumvent your family to sell black market demon eggs, everybody, because today on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy's awfully busy being extraordinarily depressed and spending a good quarter of the episode on establishing that, until Riley shows up at Double Meat Palace and whisks her away on a zany adventure to chase a murderous fast-breeding demon and murder it and its spawn lest it destroy humanity. This fucks her up emotionally, but at least it gets her to quit Double Meat Palace and finally face some of her own demons, get some closure, and move on. She meets Riley's new wife, Sam, who turns out to be an amazing person who none of them can seem to hate no matter how hard they try. Xander and Anya continue to struggle planning their own wedding and not drive each other to insanity. Dawn gets a much-needed goodbye from Riley, and Willow's spirits are up also because her and Tara are getting back on better terms. That was more the beginning of the episode, but you get the idea. Riley and Sam steal away into the night almost as fast as they arrived with heroic fanfare. The end.
Ladies, gentlemen, spiny-headed looking creatures. As soon as the sun goes down, as soon as the sun goes down, vampire. Competition is a beautiful thing. Moves here.
I have opinions about that end, but I tried not to let it taint the synopsis.
Our episode opens with Buffy at work, and Todd is rambling at her like the white man he is.
Keyword at her.
Yes.
Yeah, this fucking...
So I don't know if it was on purpose, but they really harnessed the character Randall from Clerks.
Okay.
The actor looks very similar.
Is he the one who's like, I'm not even supposed to be here
No,
today?
he's the other guy.
Oh.
He's the other guy who's talking about some... Like in Clerks, he has the long ramble on about the contractors working on the Death Star.
Okay. It's been too long since I've seen it.
But no, he's giving big Randall energy.
Okay.
Like talking over people's heads about nothing.
Right? Yeah, because this guy's fucking railing on about the politics, the finer points of the politics at Double Meat Palace, which are not fine points at all. But to him, he thinks
specifically that he is also not political.
Oh, yeah. And Double Meat Palace is so much more complicated than other burger joints because of this bullshit cliche that he pulls out of his pocket. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Very original, shithead. He says some shit about Machiavelli, and then it's like, oh, you don't know Machiavelli? Oh, yeah, I forgot you dropped out of college. And she should have just fucking slit his goddamn throat with the fucking spatula right there. That should have been the end of it. Buffy goes to prison, the end.
Can I just mention something that I thought was absolutely fantastic? He specifically mentions Double Meat Palace is essentially better than Burger World.
Sure.
Burger World, by the way, is the burger place that Beavis and Butthead worked at.
Oh. What was the name of the place where in Angel where the sign turned into a big demon after
No idea.
Wesley did the incantation? Damn.
No
I
idea.
should have looked that up.
But I just thought it was a fun little reference that the burger place he mentioned is specifically the burger place that Beavis and Butthead worked at.
Yeah.
It's a deep pull.
That must have been a reference to Beavis and Butthead. There's no way that's an accident.
Right. That is a very deep pull.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So he leaves her, telling her to lock up and scrape the gum off the bottom of the tables before she leaves. And
He does it in the way that's just the most dickish way possible.
Oh, I could go on,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna. So we're in the cemetery. Buffy's carrying a bag of food from Double Meat Palace. I had to start just calling it DBM because I'm so sick of typing out Double Meat Palace.
You mean DMP?
DBM. Double.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, there's a P in it as well.
Double meat.
For some
DMP.
reason, DBM was what I came up with.
I abbreviated it to DMP in my notes.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. I'm glad
we have a whole podcast about this conversation.
Son of a bitch. So a vamp jumps in front of her. Same old shit. She very carefully sets down the food, telling him to wait a second, and he does very politely.
I do really like that she catches herself fucking singing the jingle. The whole idea that you're working at a place and you get the jingle stuck in your head.
Yeah.
That is deeply true. And the fact that she finds herself singing it and she's like way into the song before she realizes that she's even doing it. I feel that in my soul.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, man, it's stuck in my head. That's going to be stuck in my head for ages. And the vamp's like, well, that's going to be the least of your problems. The
vamp decides that he's going to kill her, but then finds out that first he catches a whiff of her.
Well, they're grappling, and he actually nearly gets close enough to take a bite out of her neck. And then he stops, and he's like, what the hell is that smell?
Yeah.
Is that you? She's like, yeah, I was working. Where? A slaughterhouse?
It seems like he would like the smell of a slaughterhouse, though.
Right? Yeah,
he's a vampire.
That doesn't make any sense. So slaughterhouse, it's funny, though, if you don't think about it.
Also, we happen to know that that's not real meat.
Yeah, exactly. There's only fat in there.
Yeah.
He shouldn't even be smelling blood. But if he did, he should like it. But no, it's just that nasty fast food grease smell.
Yeah. Ugh.
So
I totally can smell that right now.
he should have smelled it from across the fucking city,
Right.
not once he got right up next to her, because he's a bad vampire.
No,
So
he starts trying to bow out of eating her and starts to walk away. And while he's talking, she just tosses the steak right into his chest.
yeah, and
Fuck him.
The screen did that weird blue screen thing where I could tell some sort of special effect was about to happen.
Yeah.
And it looked like they had made a bodysuit and he had just stuck his head over top of it. It was weird. It looked like a stuffed scarecrow torso made to look like his body. It was weird. I could be wrong, but I swear something was really off about that shot. Anyway, no big deal. Cheap dusting effects, which
we're used to that.
is probably half their budget. And then the helicopter. And then they probably had to pay Riley.
Right.
I don't know.
I guess they'd have to pay their actors.
So lame.
But no,
Back in my day, actors worked for free because they were happy to do it.
But yeah, she's offended. She stakes him. Opening credits.
So now we're at Buffy's house. Spike is busy not respecting Buffy's boundaries and browbeating her into fucking on the lawn in the front yard, while Buffy really just wants to spend time with her goddamn sister, whom she's been neglecting.
Yeah, she turns him down immediately upon seeing him and tries to walk in, but he manages to fucking convince her that they should fuck in the yard.
Well, I don't think she's so much convinced so much as this is the only way she's going to get him off her back.
Yeah.
To throw him a quickie. And doesn't that just make you feel icky?
It really does.
Yeah.
Really does.
Uh-huh. So we're inside. Not like that, you dirty bastards. but also kind of like that. No. We're inside the house. Buffy finally gives Dawn that 2-hour-old fucking fast food burger she's been carrying around. It's squished, go figure.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I'm sure it's also freezing. Buffy slaps it on the ass to fluff it up a bit. But alas...
She's like, oh, it bounces right back.
Alas, this is not a porn, so that's not how it works.
But Dawn turns it down and, like, good on her. Like,
she's actually super nice and understanding as she respectfully declines to eat the garbage offering that Buffy has made.
yes.
And then Willow gallops in, because Willow is a horse now. I don't know where that came from. I'm not calling her like a horse face or anything. I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah.
This hole just gets deeper every word that comes out of my mouth.
Willow comes in and...
Galloping.
No. Just like Dawn did earlier, she mentions that Buffy's seeming a little rough or tired or something. Buffy's like, what? Why does everyone think that? Turns out that she has grass stains all over her coat, which I couldn't actually see.
Yeah, I couldn't see it until later when she was supposed to have cleaned it off, but they're still there when she gets up off the couch. Yeah. But that's
I didn't
late.
notice that. But yeah, when explaining the grass stains, Buffy has a bit of a Freudian slip saying he instead of they, the vampires, or because she mentions he's not getting any less rough or something like that.
Something like that. And then she has to catch herself because didn't Dawn say he or something like that? So yeah, kind of a clever little moment. But Willow comes in and suggests they go to the Bronze. Buffy completely bypasses this perfect opportunity to bond with Dawn the way she's been wanting to.
Yeah.
And tells her and Willow to go by themselves while she sits at home and mopes about her grass-stained coat.
Good on them for like letting Dawn leave the goddamn house though.
Yeah.
Like she's actually going out to the Bronze and whatnot like Buffy did at that age.
Yeah. I love that they're writing this episode with continuity as if Dawn made a breakthrough last episode, because she kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finally realized what's been fucking eating at her for so long. Crippling depression.
Yeah.
And as we all know, that's how you cure crippling depression, is by simply acknowledging it, and then it's gone forever.
I mean, that's an early step.
Forever. I think you heard me.
I don't think that works the way you think it works.
I think I've made my point.
No, Buffy turns down going to the Bronze. She's just going to stay home and clean her coat.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy, if you go out, you'll be less depressed. For fuck's sake.
Go for a walk. You don't need antidepressants. But no, she stays home and mopes about her grass-stained coat, her grease-soaked skin, and her absolutely wrecked vagina.
Well, she doesn't mention that one.
Because, well, no, but we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Spike.
You know,
I mean, his name is Spike.
I imagine that she'd have to keep some sort of like scraper in the shower to like scrape the grease off
of her skin.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That is not where I thought that was headed. Yeah, she's got to scrape out all the Spike babies.
Maybe you have a very dirty mind.
Maybe.
All right, but also, she doesn't have to worry about that. Those Spike babies are dead.
Just got to scrape her vagina every day in the shower. Yeah, Rex. You're the one that said it, not me. Okay.
I was making a completely different point.
That was the thought that followed from what I had last said.
Maybe I was ignoring some of the things you said.
This is your fault. All right, cut to
Da Bronze, where Xander and Anya are discussing their wedding reception. They're only 1 week away. They are stressed out.
I'm going crazy here, Jerry.
Which, yeah, it's pretty stressful a week from the wedding. Like, you're terrified that you're forgetting something.
Oh, it's only a week out. I didn't catch that. I'm just like, man, when is the wedding planning going to end?
Next episode.
Because it's been like 3 or 4 episodes now that's all that those two are doing.
Since it is a week away, that means that the next episode is the wedding.
Okay. Good times.
Xander and Anya are both stress eating, which is not the thing you want to do right before the wedding, especially because you got measured for the clothes that you're going to wear months ago.
Yeah, but I feel like they're adding in a little bit of a canonical reasoning to account for Nicholas Brendan starting to gain weight, because I'm sure they didn't ask him to do that.
You know, that might be true.
So yeah, he's stress eating chips. Anya snatches them away from him, and oh, honey, you do not take a stressed man's chips. He will cancel that fucking wedding. Do you hear me?
I mean, he is going to do that.
Oh my, spoilers, okay. Dawn makes the mistake of being chipper to them and asking if they're nervous about the wedding. No, they both shout simultaneously. Dawn decides to stand elsewhere.
Yes.
With Willow.
Yeah, with Willow. Takes drinks to Willow. Willow's in a shockingly good mood. Which
Gallops over to Willow, who is galloping
There's
in
no
place.
galloping.
Why can't they gallop?
They're not horses. They only have 2 legs. Proper gallop requires 4 legs.
They could be ponies. Can they be
They're
ponies?
not ponies.
They look like ponies.
No, they don't. They look like people.
Let me have this.
I
don't have anything. I don't have anything anymore, Rex.
You have a podcast.
I want a pony.
You really don't.
No, they poop.
Yeah, a lot.
All right, so Willow and Dawn are galloping.
No galloping.
God damn.
Willow is in a good mood for once. I'm so happy that she's in a good mood.
Yeah.
She's doing well. Her recovery's going well. Her and Tara are talking again.
Dawn brings her an Arnold Palmer, which answers, sort of answers one of our long-standing questions about the Bronze. Do they serve booze or not? I still want to say yes, but they just didn't order any. So
Right.
this actually
That's
doesn't
my
answer.
assumption.
Yeah,
My assumption is that they do serve booze, but they...
because Dawn's not old enough to drink, and Willow's not going
I
to drink
think
around
what
her.
would sell it is for... Why the hell does Dawn not have a big black X on the back of her hand?
Oh, yeah.
That would sell it.
Because it's California. Bunch of reckless heathens, I tell you. So, yeah, Willow's weirdly chipper. Now she's both realizing that she kind of dodged a bullet in not marrying Xander,
Right.
as per her childhood fantasies, and watching the stress that they're going through planning the wedding. But Dawn is sharing Willow's giddiness at the prospect of her and Tara kind of sort of getting back together in any capacity. And, at least they're on good speaking terms now. That's a step in the right direction.
I would have to say that Dawn is... It's interesting to me how Dawn is attached to the relationship between Tara and...
Yeah. That's a connecting thread with her, especially this episode.
Yeah. Well, and anytime after Willow and Tara break up, Dawn is mad at Willow.
Yeah.
And the magic shit just piles on top of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Dawn is taking their relationship quite personally.
Yeah, I think she's just, she needs more strong parental figures.
Right. I think it is a...
Because she never had a dad of any kind.
Right. I think it's a really good... It's the writers taking into account that, how many months was Buffy dead?
Oh, yeah.
And it was just Tara and Willow living there?
Yeah, she had to cope.
Yeah. The attachment to that relationship, I think, is really good characterization.
Yeah, she doesn't just feel like empty baggage.
Right.
Like a pointless little sibling character that's just being annoying for the sake of having some sort of conflict.
Right. And man, when Tara dies, it's just going to fuck...
What?
It is going to fuck Dawn
Tara
up.
dies?
Yes. You already knew that.
Okay, fine.
Well, if this guy wants to fight with weapons, I've got it covered from A to Z. From axe to the other axe.
I'm fairly certain I said no interruptions.
All right, cut to the basement where Buffy's cleaning a stain out of her coat while
the
listening.
basement of Buffy's house, not the basement of the Bronze.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Because we all know what's in the basement of the Bronze. It's where they keep the ponies. That's why I heard galloping. No, but we're in Buffy's basement.
She's listening to indie chick music and scrubbing her coat.
So that's what Buffy's doing. Cut to the living room where it's a bit later. Buffy wakes up on the couch with her coat over her like a blanket, and we can still see the grass stains on it that she wasn't able to get out. She hears the garbage truck and jumps up like, oh shit, and runs to catch them, but just misses them while carrying 2 big trash bags. Kind of sort of quote of the day here. She says, wait, and she's running after them, stops and gives up. Don't you want your garbage? Just something about how sad but also silly that was of a thing to say.
Right. I feel this pain so much. I have inattentive ADHD. The number of times that I have been woken up by the garbage truck only to realize that I did not put the garbage out
is a non-zero number.
It is way higher than 0.
Double digits? Possibly triple?
Probably triple.
Oh my.
Like a lot.
Oh my. All right, so that's that. Did we thoroughly discuss the garbage truck scene?
Yes.
Great. I'm moving on. So we're in the kitchen now, where Buffy sifts through mail.
Yes.
I thought I'd written mall, but it's mail.
No.
She does not sift through the mall.
And turns out that she has gotten a rejection letter from UC Sunnydale.
Right after Dawn reminds her that it's trash day and the look on her face.
She is living that single mom life because her air quotes kid is basically telling her things that she already knows, making her own damn food, and then just destroying the kitchen when she does it, only to leave the mess behind.
Well, hey, you know, when they force him to go to school for 7 hours a fucking day at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And still have to pay for food. But anyway, no, I feel like Buffy can't even be mad at Dawn for telling her something she already knows. But she can be mad at her for knowing that it's trash day and not taking out the trash.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah. Now, the dishes that she turns around to do a moment later, Dawn probably could have helped out a bit with that, too.
Yeah.
But you know what? Dawn's being so fucking nice that I don't even care.
Right? No, and honestly, Buffy probably is slightly less bothered by it because Dawn is being nice.
Right.
And not a angsty teenage brat.
Yeah. Which has been her MO for quite a while now.
Yeah.
I can't even remember her not being like that.
I think it was about 5 minutes right after Buffy got resurrected. That was the last time we saw her like that.
Right.
The first 5 minutes. After that, she has a job to do.
And she does it well. But no, so Buffy got rejected from, isn't this a community college?
I don't think so, because it's UC Sunnydale.
University.
So it's
college.
an actual...
Yeah. Anyway, so if you pause it and you read it, it's rejected on the basis that she didn't turn in her application soon enough, which needed to be before January 15th. And that's like, okay, for the fall semester or even the summer semester, that's kind of ridiculous.
Maybe it was for the spring semester.
But the spring semester starts in January. You wouldn't apply for that after January. I don't know. It feels fishy and bullshitty to me. But anyway, she got rejected.
It's a deep blow.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Absolutely. Because she's got this twat going off about college and bullshit at her shitty job.
Todd.
Fucking Todd. Of course his name is Todd. I didn't want to know that.
Fuck you, Todd.
Anyway.
I apologize if you are named Todd.
If your name's Todd, you're cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're probably the only cool Todd.
There's no way that you're not cool. All the other Todds, though, they're dicks.
Fuck those Todds.
Fuck those guys. Or ladies. You know, it doesn't have to be a guy's name.
I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 out there.
Probably. Anyway, Buffy seems kind of disoriented because she looks at Dawn holding books and is like, where are you going? She's like, fucking school, bro. I'm 16. You got a problem with that?
Yeah, and she made her own breakfast, which, you know, at least she does that. That's good.
Yeah, that takes one thing off of Buffy's plate. But
it adds the dishes on, but, you know.
Right. So she's not even trying to be a dick here. She's just like, all right, well, I'll see you tonight. As Dawn's walking away, not to make this weird, but she grabs her arm, and then the shot gets really close in, and I'm like, wow, they look like they're going to kiss or something. And then Dawn actually gives Buffy a peck on the cheek, and I'm like, oh, some people do that in their families. That's weird.
Tell me you had a toxic family growing up without telling you
had a
toxic family growing up.
Well, you're cheating because you already knew that.
Yeah. And come on, we have the mom synopsis. That tells everything there.
What? Psh, that doesn't say anything. Moving on. So Buffy goes and does dishes even though she's fucking exhausted. We cut to Double Meat Palace, where Twatty McFuckface 5-year pin is yammering on about goddamned Zeitgeist and Nixon and special sauce, and then he's like, oh, I got it though, Buffy. Why don't you go to the front counter? It's your turn. And she doesn't rip his heart out and eat it in front of him while he watches.
Oh man, she is so beaten down.
Yeah. And she's flipping those burgers even though that burger was done.
Right?
Put that on a bun.
Yeah.
And send it away. That poor burger. So
some people like hockey pucks instead of burgers.
Ugh. Well, he sends her to the counter at exactly the right time or exactly the wrong time, or Riley was just going to wait there for her all day. We don't know.
In my head canon, he's been standing there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he wasn't there for a burger. He was there for Buffy.
And he was just and not standing off to the side waiting. No, he's just been standing right there in the middle, right in front of the register, 30 minutes, not reacting to anybody.
And they just started taking orders around him.
Yes.
And nobody thought a thing of it. So anyway, by the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, Riley's here.
Yeah.
And he's got a scar on his face now. And poor Buffy standing there wearing the dumbest hat the 7th level of hell could possibly contrive.
Right.
Good God.
Buffy's reaction to this is just fucking priceless. She's like, first she reacts to Riley with, were you always this tall?
Right?
And he is ridiculously tall compared to her.
Absolutely. Like, if that tells you anything about how beaten down she is right now. She just, like, she never used to seem to feel like he towers over her. She was very commanding and confident around him before, always, you know?
1 second. I'm looking up his height because now I'm curious.
I think we did this before. He's only 6'2".
Yeah.
He's my
6'2".
height. And everybody else on this show is just really fucking short.
Right. It also tells us how short
Giles?
No, Spike.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's not that much taller than Buffy.
He's not that tall, yeah. They're pretty
Which
well
makes
matched.
me feel better because that means he's my height.
Yeah, I mean, 6 feet tall used to be towering, so, and slightly shorter than that was average, but now everybody's just bigger for some fucking reason.
Well, in our lifetime, since I was a child to becoming an adult, the average male height in America went up an inch.
Weird.
Because I used to be exactly average height, and now I'm an inch shorter than average height.
Crazy. So here we are. I was emotionally prepared for this, for Riley coming back, because of a special request from our longtime listener, Geraint Thatcher, who has requested that we confirm if he's crazy or not, that this whole episode is just one big wispy love letter to Riley from the writing room. And so far, not crazy.
You know, I think they're on to something there.
And also we're supposed to explain at some point in the episode why and how Spike is suddenly an international arms dealer and how that makes any sense at all. I have ideas, but we'll save that for when we get there.
I have a few ideas too. I was not prepared for this, but I can off the cuff that.
Challenge accepted,
Yes.
Geraint. Thank you. All right, so Buffy stares up at him, nearly speechless, and hearing him talk business is the least depressing thing that's happened in this episode so far, at least from Buffy's point of view, definitely. He's like, we don't have much time, Buffy. I've been up for 48 hours straight tracking something bad, and it's come to Sunnydale, and we need the best, Buffy. We need you.
In her state of confusion, she says 3 things that just incrementally ratchet up the crack me up. Because the first thing she says is, were you always this tall? And then in response to Riley saying something about her working here, she says, I was on the grill, I'm not anymore. Because she's on the register. And then the third thing is, and this is one of my quotes of the day, my hat has a cow.
Yeah. You know what the best part of that line was for me is this, just before she said that, was the first time it actually clocked for me that was a cow. I was always just like, what the fuck is on their hats? But it's a cow on the front and it's a rooster's tail in the back.
Yes. But just my hat has a cow.
Yeah. Just because, yeah, how fucking embarrassing is that? Like, he's not just any ex. He's one of the big exes.
This whole episode is about her seeing Riley and going, your life is good and mine is a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
This whole episode is just giving her some perspective. And not in a fun way.
Not in a fun way, and not in a correct way. And
No.
And in a way that props Riley up on a pedestal that he does not deserve.
I agree.
Not in any fashion whatsoever. So, yeah. My hat has a cow. She thinks it over a moment. His proposition to, go help him slay demons. Like, you're still the Slayer. You're not just a burger flipper. But it was never any kind of a choice for her. And she finally fucking makes the right one.
My absolute favorite thing about this entire episode is this moment when she's like, no, actually, I'm the Slayer and I have a fucking job to do. Fuck this. And just walks out of Double Meat Palace.
And also, I'm obviously very much still in love with this man, and I am going to follow him into certain doom right now.
I don't think it's that she's still in love with him.
She's certainly got complicated emotions about him.
She's got complicated emotions about him, and I think it's more about seeing him makes her remember herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what it is, really.
And I think it helps also that fucking shit kebab McGee behind her is flapping his stupid face about, Buffy, there's people waiting. You're holding up the line, Buffy. And she takes off the hat and walks out. And the cinematography was perfect for this.
I particularly like that she takes off the hat and walks out without a fucking word.
Yeah.
No, I quit. No, fuck you, Todd. Although he deserves that.
Sure, but they're not worth it. They're not.
Yeah,
they're
so
not
worth
beneath her. Like,
and she doesn't even there's not a moment where she worries about it at all this entire episode.
At all. I swear to God, if she goes back next episode, my head's going to explode.
I will be so pissed.
So the cinematography here, it suddenly turns into a handheld shot where the cameraman's obviously walking backwards at about matching their pace.
Yeah.
And there's no steady cam, no nothing. It's a very raw looking shot. And Buffy's being escorted out by this giant official looking military guy. Like she's fucking Whitney Houston escaping a rabid crowd while this fucking asshole.
It's very dramatic.
This impotent little man is yelling at her as if his words mean anything.
It's very dramatic, and it would have fantastic gravitas if it wasn't for the fact that she is wearing the most ridiculous of outfits.
Yeah, if that shirt wasn't just so goddamn ugly. It's too bad. It still had a lot of gravitas for me.
Yeah.
But it would have had more had she been wearing a dignified shirt. But at least she took the hat off.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Frankly, it's ludicrous to have these interlocking bodies and not interlock. Putrefying diseases. It'll make you blind and insane, but it won't kill you. Light a bunch of candles and have sex near them.
So far, I like it.
Please remove your clothing now.
She walks out. They're out in the street. Riley gives her the rundown of what's going on. He's hunting a Svolte demon,
Svolte.
He pulls out a pheromone tracker that he's actually, I looked this up, he has used that before.
Okay.
That specific prop before. I'm sure the prop master was like, I get to pull out a prop we used
Thank
before.
God, this took me so long to make.
Of course, Buffy chuckles at it because she had forgotten that he uses all this James Bond gear.
Yeah. I thought that there was like a tracker they had planted on the demon that he was following. It's all just pheromone trails?
Yeah, it's pheromone tracker.
Okay, I didn't catch that. Neat. So they're chasing this demon that breeds exponentially and could wipe out humanity. Buffy is suddenly a Star Trek expert now, and she's like, oh, so it's like a really mean tribble. And attributes this knowledge to having had to deal with the trio recently. And I'm like, that's not...
I don't think she's mentioning the trio. I think she's just mentioning, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Todd that gave her that knowledge.
Okay, that's possible.
Because she just mentions nerds in general.
I feel like that was a nod at the trio, though.
Maybe.
Because Todd just talks about boring history stuff in politics. There's
that we've seen.
Yeah.
Luckily, this is the only episode this character is ever in, and we will never see him again.
Thank God.
He is dead, essentially.
Well, who cares where she figured it out? She's seen the Tribble episode of the original Star Trek. Good for her.
Come on. I doubt she's seen it. She knows of it.
She knows of the concept of a Tribble, which is literally just a fuzzy ball that is born pregnant.
And that, by the way, is the second Star Trek reference we've gotten is in as many episodes. Because last one we got the red shirt.
Oh yeah. Well, and several of the trio episodes have directly referenced Star Trek. So anyway, they see the demon. Riley yells out to the crowd that he's from the National Forestry Service and they got a wild bear. And
I love that.
Because people are going to believe that shit because people are stupid. And
and he's done it almost every single time that this scenario has happened where there's some sort of demon or something. He pulls out some level of credentials that are junk and he says some random thing.
Yeah. A la the doctor from Doctor Who. Yeah. He's got the blank sheet of paper.
Right.
Can say whatever he wants and people believe it. Anyway, so they're fighting the demon. They both get knocked down real quick and it retreats into an alleyway. They follow it and they catch up to it just in time. I think there's another brief interaction or exchange of blows. Yeah. And then it leaps off into the distance. Buffy's like, oh no, it's too fast.
But Riley does shoot it with some sort of tracker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they actually use a GPS tracker for this because he has a GPS in his car.
I was wondering about that. I didn't notice him shooting.
The first one was a pheromone tracker.
Oh, yeah. He did drop a gun that she then picks up afterwards. I remember now. Anyway,
she was actually holding it in when they walked into the alley, which threw me because, like, Buffy with a gun?
Yeah, well, I think I remember her picking up a gun. It must have been before they ran into the alley. Anyway, so she's like, oh, no, it's too fast. And Riley's like, not exactly, because he has an SUV.
Right.
A government SUV.
Yes.
The best kind, probably.
Possibly.
Wouldn't know. So we're in an SUV. Blah, blah, blah. We're both awkward and still in love. Here, put on this Kevlar. No, it's not an excuse to see you without a shirt, but that's a perk, and he's not going to deny it.
Quote of the day here. They have some exchange, and Riley says, yeah, I got some big stories to tell you, too, if we ever get half a second. Buffy replies with, did you die? Riley goes, no. She says, I'm going to win.
I'm going to win. I mean, it's not a contest, Buffy.
Yeah.
But if it was,
she wins.
You win. So they're following this tracker on an old-ass looking GPS system that I'm sure at the time looked state-of-the-art and futuristic.
I'm also sure at the time was not real and just a graphic they recorded.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is kind of impressive because it looked plausibly like a GPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good for them. Good work. Props. Cut to Xander and Anya stuck in traffic in a car.
Hey, look! The most accurate depiction of California they've shown yet.
I know, right? We so very rarely see any of them driving now that
Right.
Giles is gone.
Yeah.
And Anya doesn't know how to eat a chip still. She's just nibbling off the end. But I think by the end of this particular mini scene, they're at least making it kind of look like she's just throwing them back. But
Right.
it's an actor thing to just do that little nibble thing
Yes.
because you don't want to get full up on shit and gain weight because of something you're shooting. But it still just looks dumb.
That being said, Xander is putting away the chips.
Oh, he's putting them away and he's swallowing.
Yeah.
Like, I think they did like 50 takes of this
Yeah.
by the looks of it.
But they're on their way to pick up his uncle, which they don't even like. And apparently they invited a shit ton of the guests to actually stay in their fucking apartment.
Yeah.
Which isn't big enough for that many guests.
Not at all.
They don't have like a spare room or anything like that, for fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
why would you do that?
I have no idea. For my wedding, we didn't invite anybody to stay at our house. Matter of fact, we didn't stay at our house. We fucking hired a pet sitter to stay at our place, and we stayed in a hotel for the weekend.
Fuck yeah.
Because fucking
Reasons.
take out all the stress you possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as they're talking back and forth, Xander mentions that they should have eloped. And as someone who's recently gotten married, if you are getting married, fucking elope or hire a wedding planner. I used to think wedding planners were the most frivolous job on the goddamn planet till I actually had a wedding.
Yeah.
And now, no, that shit is important. That is an essential job.
Yeah, you guys, you were robbed of being able to just get in a car with a bunch of cans tied to the bumper and driving off after the fun times.
And, you know, my spouse said in the beginning, maybe we should elope. And, like, I didn't really want to elope.
Mm-hmm. It went pretty well.
No.
All things considered.
The wedding was fantastic. I had a blast. It was a good time. I do not regret it, except the stress leading up to it.
Absolutely.
I feel what these characters are going through deeply. Planning weddings is one of the worst activities you could ever do.
Yeah, we could all. Your stress was palpable to everyone else as well. So this is being very accurately depicted.
Yes.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Anya promises that she will kill every single guest in half the city if that's what it takes to make their wedding the most perfect day ever. Whew. And it sounds like that might, in fact, be what it takes. Start with Xander.
Yes.
I think that'll help a lot. Just kidding.
I mean, if she did start with Xander right here, right now, it would make the next episode probably a lot better.
And go in an entirely different direction.
Yeah.
Even if they still got married.
Yeah.
Weekend at Xander's. Holy hell. Puppeting his corpse around like nothing's wrong. And everybody's into it. Just put some sunglasses on him.
God, the absurdity of that movie.
Yeah.
Or that series of movies, because I think it's at least 2, if not 3 movies.
They made far too many Weekend at Bernie's movies.
1 seems like too many.
That's too many.
Because of the absurdity of, like, let's haul around this dead body.
I feel bad for the guy that played Bernie because, you know, that was a live person playing Bernie.
Yeah.
You can't actually do those things with a dead body.
No.
Anyway.
Eventually, things just start falling off.
Yeah. Liquids start escaping. So Riley and Buffy arrive at a large dam. And
Damn.
goddamn.
That's a big dam.
That's where can I get some damn bait? That's all I think of every time. So they have to rappel down the side of this dam to get to the demon because they're right on top of it, but it's obviously below them.
Right.
Because it's not there. And Riley has to carry her and they have to rappel down the side, even though, was it just me? Am I crazy? Was there not a very long ladder?
There was a fucking ladder.
That attached to the side of the dam.
Yes.
That if only they could have just picked a lock or something, they could have easily accessed.
Pick a lock? Why would they need to pick a lock, Josh?
When they have the Slayer
She's literally ripped doors open and like broken chains and shit.
And a professional Black Ops guy who probably has a gun or a tool that can easily also pop a lock.
And more specifically, like he even says to her that they can't take any gear with them because it's one rappel line that's going to take them both down. And they don't have enough weight to take any actual gear with them.
Gee, maybe you should take the ladder then.
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember him saying anything about not being able to carry any gear down. I just remember him saying that he didn't have any extra gear for her, so that's why they had to share a line.
I heard it as like, because he mentions the weight restriction on the line.
Okay.
And then mentions not having any more gear. And so that's why I put it together as, so the thing is designed to take him down with gear, so he's not going to go down with gear because he's taking her down.
Buffy is the gear.
I mean, that's true.
So yeah, they get down there and they grapple with the demon on the platform where they land, and it seemed like they killed it, but that turns out not to be the case. Riley pins Buffy to the wall, and they are so fucking close to making out.
There is some strong sexual tension in this moment.
Oh my, yes. If he did not know that his wife was about to rappel down and ruin everything, that'd have happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd have happened. She'd have walked in on more than just that.
Cue Riley's wife rappelling down.
What?
Yeah.
When did that happen, Rex?
Right now.
I mean, I recall her galloping into the scene.
Nobody gallops.
No. Somebody has to gallop, Rex.
Nobody gallops.
She galloped up the wall vertically.
No.
Because she's a magical pony. On her way to Candyland. Charlie. Riley. We have to go to Candyland. Okay. All right. I'm done. I'm done making old lame internet meme references.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'll never be done. And
her name is Sam.
Well, so first she bounces in on this little scene.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there's no reason for you to be like hovering over Buffy like that right now. And she's all like, I know you ain't got no skinny hussy claws all up on my baby daddy. Oh, hell no. Verbatim.
No.
She whinnied. Jesus. And then she went stamped her feet. Sorry, her hoof.
Oh, anytime anybody uses the phrase whinny, all I can think of is the line from Dr. Horrible when he's talking about Bad Horse.
Bad horse, bad
and
horse.
He specifically says, and his terrible death, Winnie.
Yeah. Yeah. All the horse jokes in that are gold.
Yeah.
Great
anyway,
show.
She starts fighting the demon when it wakes up. Riley and Buffy have a little chat while this is happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he meant to tell her that they'd been married for 4 months. No kids, presumably.
Right.
Buffy asks about it. He just kind of gives her a look. And then Sam gets knocked down. Riley taps in. Buffy just kind of stands back and watches for a moment. They're both fighting, and then Buffy finally jumps in and snaps its neck and says, "Call this your wedding gift." I thought that was a good one-liner.
Yeah, it was a good liner.
Maybe not quote of the day worthy.
But turns out they weren't trying to kill the demon.
Oops.
On top of not mentioning that he's fucking married, Riley did not explain to her that they didn't want to kill the demon. They needed to follow it to its nest.
Yeah, he really has been up for 48 hours because he is slipping. Like, this man knows how to brief people.
Apparently.
But Sam's like, you didn't fucking tell her? And then she pulls out a knife and cuts it open, letting all the banana pudding out. What a waste. I was like, get a cup. Get a cup. Shit, we're too late. Someone get me a cup and a spoon.
It's quite gooey.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, by the way, can we stay at your place? And Buffy's like, yeah, by the way, Spike and I fuck really loudly, so brace yourselves.
She specifically asks if Buffy has a safe house. And Buffy's response is, I have a house. It's kind of safe.
Sometimes we can't even leave. Nice callback to last
Yes.
episode. I appreciated that. Riley promises to tell Buffy everything on the way there. Ew. All the gory details.
Yeah.
Now, can I just say, I'm really upset at how attractive I find Sam.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not ugly.
Well, because
She's not my type.
also
She's not my type.
this whole time, my actual jealousy detector, or whatever you want to call it, I'm just buzzing with jealousy on behalf of Buffy this
Well, like,
whole episode.
I will
I'm
say,
like, God, that
I will say this. Sam is a tall, thin woman and is much, much taller than Buffy.
and broader. She's a little
Yeah.
more muscularly built.
But my point is like she is a much closer, more reasonable height match to Riley.
Yes, she's a much better physical match.
Yes.
In fact, that was a point I was going to bring up later, but since you brought it up now, I'm like, oh my God, when him and Buffy were together, it's like, you're going to snap that poor girl in half. I know she's the Slayer.
Right.
And that's the only reason this is working.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Like broader in chest and shoulder than fucking Angel even.
Like, did they ever really have an on-screen kiss? Because I can't even hardly imagine it. Like,
Yeah,
seems
they
like
did.
his
They
face
did.
would just kind of encompass
They
hers.
had lots of on-screen kisses.
Really? Did his face just kind of...
Dude, remember they had a whole episode where they were trapped in a room having sex the whole episode?
They must have had to do the perspective trick. Where he's like standing 20
No,
feet
he just
back.
bends over quite awkwardly.
And it's like kissing a 5-year-old for him, is what you're saying.
Probably.
Yeah, nothing weird about that. Moving on.
My spouse is almost exactly my height, and it's nice.
Yeah,
No weird, awkward bending to make out.
that does sound nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. I mean,
It makes me happier later in life that I am the height that I am. I no longer have height envy like I used to when I was much younger.
sounds like something somebody with height envy would say.
I mean, I did once have height envy.
Oh, yeah, past tense, definitely. Mm-hmm. Wink. I gotcha. I'm here for you, bud.
But yeah, I think it's not so much that Sam is that attractive. It's just that you've never really gotten to date a tall woman and you're a tall dude.
Well, no, she's very attractive. That's my thing here.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, if there's any tall women out there, single and looking, come on down. Woo! So we're back at Buffy's house.
That won't get you any crazies at all. That's not possible.
Couldn't possibly.
I'm not in your room. I'm in the hallway. The hallway doesn't belong to you. Mom, I can stand in the hallway, right? My friend Sharon's older brother knows a girl who died because she choked on her boyfriend's tongue.
We're at Buffy's house. Everyone is somehow completely expecting Riley and his new wife, and
Yeah,
they know
apparently,
all about them.
I guess they called ahead.
Yeah, which I guess that kind of makes sense, but whatever. Everybody runs to the door like a little golden retriever that's excited their master came home.
I am annoyed as shit the way Xander's reacting.
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely fucking love how Dawn is reacting, and I absolutely love how Willow reacts.
Yes.
Like they
Yeah.
Dawn is a good sister and Willow is a damn good friend. Xander, man,
Dawn isn't even doing it to be a good sister. She's just legitimately upset with him.
Yeah.
As she should be. Because
she is fucking frigid cold.
and she's
to
being
him.
honest about her feelings.
Yes.
Whereas Xander is really, like, I'm assuming he's also being honest about his feelings, which are that he has none.
Right.
And, oh, here's a person that's married. I should ask him for advice, regardless of how he is making everyone feel around me.
And regardless of there's an impending situation.
Oh, no, we're doing it again. We're Xander bashing.
I mean...
I told you.
You jump in the crosshairs, it's not on us.
I told you we weren't going to stop.
No.
There was never any chance of that. But thanks for the feedback.
Honestly, I don't understand what it is about Xander's attitude towards Riley that eats at me the way it does.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know, it's like he's just super grateful that, oh, at least there's another dick in the room for once.
Oh, thank
you
God.
know?
Yeah.
Like...
It was a real taco party up in here.
The moment he comes into the scene, he's like very bro with Riley.
Oh, yeah. And I think they were kind of trying to hint at, it's because he was a soldier back in that Halloween episode in like season 2 or something.
Maybe.
3. But it just came off as completely oblivious.
Oh, yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
I can totally get behind the idea that he is fucking preoccupied. He's planning a wedding. He's about to get married.
Sure.
Him asking about their wedding, that makes sense to me. He is fishing for ideas because he's at a fucking loss for that.
Sure.
That is fine. Makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
But just the way he's so fucking friendly and invitive to them, I don't like it.
So, yeah, there's Xander doing that, and Willow even seems happy to see Riley, and vice versa.
But she's only polite. She's being polite.
Sure.
She's not fawning over them.
Yeah.
Like Xander
But it
does.
still just kind of feels like it's turning into a big old Riley circle jerk up in here.
It does.
And but Willow does offer to be super bitchy to Sam privately to Buffy while they're on the other side of the room, which was very nice of her, I thought.
She even explains to Buffy that, like, no, you can't be bitchy because that would look bad.
He'd look petty.
I will be bitchy for you.
For you, because I'm a good fucking friend, exactly. Because Buffy doesn't take her up on it at first until she sees them being all happy and touchy-feely on the couch together. And I'm like, that's fucking tacky, guys.
Yeah.
Buffy, good decision. Willow, you're fantastic. Those two over there, I'm like, why don't you just fuck in front of her?
Major, like, negative points to Riley for this, because, like, not telling her, hey, I'm married, my wife is my fucking Black Ops partner.
Negative 1 million points to Slytherin.
Yes. But on top of that, like, maybe don't rub this in her face.
Yeah. Riley seems oblivious, too. Like, there's several points. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head. Well, no, it's even like when Dawn's being ice cold to him, he doesn't really acknowledge it.
Right.
He just is, she's like, so, what brought you back after running away with no fucking word or something? And he's like, oh, well, we're hunting this demon.
Right.
Can you help us?
Yeah.
You should help us.
He doesn't acknowledge why she's mad at all.
Yeah.
Like, even in the end when she's like, oh, I get a hug goodbye this time.
And I feel like this is just a sign of how much he fell out of step and out of sync with the other actors in the time that he was gone. He wasn't picking up their cues.
Right.
And it's like he just came back and phoned in this role.
There's no chemistry happening between him and the rest of the cast.
No.
At all.
And the only reason there's any chemistry happening with him and Buffy is because Sarah Michelle Gellar is fucking working it.
Right. Like, she does all the labor and emotional labor to make this feel like the reunion that it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh, I think I had a quote of the day here. So Xander asks for wedding advice, and then I got a quote of the day where Buffy says, because they're just talking about what they have to do, track down the demon, which is going to take them to the nest. And Buffy's like, which means we have to find the nest and fast before Sunnydale turns into the Trouble Meat Palace. Crickets. I wish I'd said something else.
Yeah.
Buffy explains they can't track the demon because she killed it. Sam makes sure Buffy knows that it's fine that she killed the demon because they were in danger. And then
and the simple truth is it's not her fault, it's Riley's fault.
Absolutely. And also Sam takes more emotional responsibility for everybody else in this room than Riley does.
Yes. she is not phoning it in.
No.
I really like her character, and I want her to show back up.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Riley can fuck off.
Yeah, everybody loves her by the end of this, even though they're trying real hard not to. But
honestly,
she's way better than Riley.
Yeah.
Riley doesn't deserve her. I
mean, there were issues with Riley towards the end of his arc where just there really wasn't as strong a chemistry between the two actors. Like, there was some, like, in the beginning and midway through with their relationship, but it really never felt deep. You know what I mean? It might just be that there's really not enough chemistry between the actors, and that's why it felt kind of on surface level.
Well, and you need off-screen chemistry to have on-screen chemistry.
Yeah. It really flops hard in this episode.
And he's not really doing anything different, it doesn't seem like. It just seems like he's just a personality actor. You get what you see with this guy.
And that might be.
And I feel like that happens a lot.
It really does make me want to kind of look back at his arc and see what the chemistry looked like.
Well, it was
back then.
It was such a sudden cutoff. Like, I think 7/8 of the Riley and Buffy arc was actually really good, and he was doing really well, and they were doing really well together. And then suddenly, oh no! Actually, it turns out he's really depressed, and he's doing this thing that's an allegory for seeing hookers, but they're vampires that are sucking his blood or something. And I had forgotten about that until Spike throws it in his face later. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing you did. That's why I hated you.
What threw me is I was at seeing the interaction of Riley and Dawn. I'm like, how much overlap did those characters even have?
Yeah, I don't recall them really having a particularly close bond.
No, and I looked it up, and it's like Riley left 10 episodes into season 5, and Dawn shows up at the very beginning of season 5. So they had like 10 episodes that they're both in the show.
Yeah.
But like, you don't get any real feeling of
kind of feels like they're retconning their relationship.
Right. And there were, I do recall a few scenes where Riley is like kind of big brothery to her.
Mm-hmm.
But it just,
it's more she's got abandonment issues.
Yeah.
And she gets really pissy when people abandon her.
Which, you know what?
Whether emotionally or physically.
You know what, though? Those are valid feelings.
Absolutely.
Her father abandoned her. Her mother died. Her sister's boyfriend that she likes fucks off.
Mm-hmm. And she was never around with Angel, so that was, well, I mean, she was.
She was. We just didn't
we didn't see any of that.
But and then her sister fucking dies. Like, the girl's been abandoned a lot.
Quite a bit. Anyway, Buffy explains they can't track the demon because she killed it. Sam makes sure Buffy knows. Yeah, she's doing all the heavy lifting with the emotions here in the room. And then in the same breath, answers Xander's wedding question, recommending disposable cameras, which, whatever. Riley explains that the eggs hatching is not the problem, but they think that they're being sold on the black market because military powers, foreign military powers specifically, would love to have an army of Savolte demons to drop on cities and wipe them out. Which seems like they'd be hard to contain after that, but sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. You know, bombs exist for a reason. I don't know. All right, so Sam asks Willow if she can do a locating spell on a guy called the Doctor, and Sam pushes back a little when Willow says no and has to explain that she got addicted to black magic and quit. And walks off in a huff. Because she's trying to be a good friend to Buffy, and she's keeping her promise. She's going to be shitty with Sam.
But also, like, she doesn't want to fucking talk about that. And she leaves the conversation before she has to explain anything more than that.
And it's also legitimately a sore spot.
Yeah.
So Riley delegates nest searching to the women, and Buffy and Sam go off together while he searches for the Doctor. Typical.
We get a short scene in the kitchen where Willow is, where Sam steps into the kitchen, apologizes, and then the line that sums it all up to me is she says to Willow, tells her a little bit of a story about some people that she knew that did black magic. Sums it all up with, I've never met anyone with enough strength to quit before. And leaves it at that. There's no badgering her, no asking further questions. Literally just walks in. I didn't know. I'm sorry. That's a big deal. You're really fucking strong for being able to quit doing black magic. Bye.
Yeah.
And
she apologized.
Like, that is how you take accountability.
100% correctly. That is how you apologize. Yeah. And Sam even tried to give Buffy an easy out about them patrolling together looking for these nests, because she's like, well, I don't want to slow down the Slayer. And Buffy's like, no, I got this. I can cover up my emotions really well.
Yeah, she doesn't want to reject hanging out with Sam. Mm-hmm. Like, for fuck's sake.
And it's a good thing she didn't, because she gets to know her a little better, which, I think that's a good thing for her to do. So now we're at the cemetery.
At the cemetery, I like that Sam is a little bit starstruck by the Slayer. Like, obviously, she knows what the Slayer is, so she knows that Buffy has superpowers. But on top of that, like, she's heard stories about what Buffy has done.
Yeah, this scene kind of makes everything make sense to me. Because, like you said, she's a little intimidated by her. She's starstruck. But also that Riley talked about her a lot, and she's Riley's big ex.
Yeah.
And that's really good of her to have listened to him drone on about his ex-girlfriend for whatever amount of time, and then date him and marry him. It's like...
So this is episode 15. Sam mentions that it took Riley a year to get over Buffy.
Yeah, but it's really only been...
Hold on.
Yeah.
Riley and Sam have been married for 4 months.
Yeah.
Which means the moment that Riley was, hard air quotes, over Buffy, they got fucking married. They did not date. Mm-hmm. They just got married. That is not a fucking marriage that's going to last.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the evidence is pointing that way, even though their interactions seem good.
Right.
But she's doing all the emotional work here, and we know from experience that Riley
will not step up and do that emotional labor.
Does not do good emotional labor. No, which is why he fucked off in the first place, because he gave Buffy a shitty ultimatum, and then she guilted herself into...
And his entire fucking arc in season 5 was, oh, I'm inadequate because you're the Slayer. And I'm not a good guy anymore.
God, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my.
So, like, he had to fuck off and be a Black Ops dude because he's like, I need to feel like I'm a man again.
Yeah, he had to go feed his toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
And find a woman who would also be his mommy. Mm-hmm. While feeding his toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Such a great character. Man. But Sam legitimately... is kind of a great character.
Yeah, she seems like a decent person.
Too bad we only see her this episode. But also she needs to stop enabling Riley.
Yeah.
Please.
But she talks a little bit about Riley, and then she asks Buffy about her love life. And then Buffy, of course, dodges the question.
Yeah, she doesn't want to give it up.
Not even
Spike.
Artfully, just no.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Nope. None of that. Not for me.
But then Sam says the line that just really cuts deep into Buffy, which is better no guy than the wrong guy.
She's trying really hard to make Buffy feel better about not having a boyfriend while she's married to her big ex.
It's like that episode a few episodes back when everyone kept saying things that was rubbing the salt into the wound with Buffy.
Oh yeah,
but they didn't know that
they
were
didn't
doing
realize
it.
That was what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this is a very important scene because this is where we learn that the reason Sam is intimidated by her as Riley's ex is because she's under the impression that Buffy kicked his ass to the curb.
Right.
100%. And Buffy kind of figures that out here and doesn't clarify otherwise.
Buffy doesn't clarify to Sam or Riley
later
that she chased after him.
Yeah, she starts to say it later.
She starts to say it.
And then doesn't. And I think it would have only made things worse if she did.
Yes.
But what's important is she understands what happened now.
Yes.
Riley, whatever, he's an emotional husk, so he's fine.
Right. But the awkwardness of like Sam accidentally rubbing in the salt in the wound gets Buffy to be like, actually, maybe we should split up. And Sam's like, oh shit, I'm slowing you down. You're right. I better go fuck around with Riley instead.
Be good.
We will. We're just gonna play with matches, run with scissors, take candy from some guy. I don't know his name. I'm finished being everybody's butt monkey.
And then we cut to Spike's crypt, where Buffy pumps Spike for information. What else would I want to pump you for, Spike? Well,
I love that she does at least ask him. She asks him, he says no, and then they're like, okay, let's get to the pumping.
Exactly. So she wants to know about the doctor, and he implies that he needs some sort of payment. Well, not really implies. He says he's going to need some sort of payment, as if he hasn't gotten enough from her.
Right.
What a fucking douche.
Well, he's evil.
Yeah. Yeah, what's her excuse? So she tells him she's looking for...
Her excuse is that she's very depressed.
Very depressed, yeah. Okay, fine. She tells him she's looking for the doctor who's trafficking non-humans, air quotes, and the clock is ticking, or, I mean, it goes down differently than that, but that's the Cliff Notes. So Spike, of course, wants his booty sooner than later.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's very good.
Thank you. I need all the external validation I can get. Thank you. And I think Buffy was prepared to give him this booty well in advance this time, because she's like...
The whole asking him about the doctor and everything was pretense. That was pure pretense. She had no care what... She came here to fuck, and that's it.
Yeah, she was feeling inadequate and upset, and she decided she needed to lean on her crutch.
Yep.
Because, hey, his crypt is right over there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Must be nice. But yeah, she's like, tell me you love me. And he's like, I love you. You know I do. And she's like, tell me you want me. I always want you. Shut your whore hole, you dirty whore, and fill my soul's whore hole. And he does.
Shut your whole whore, you dirty...
Shut your whore hole, you dirty whore, and fill my soul's whore hole.
Okay.
But the other one.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
different.
I get where you're
Your
going.
body has at least 3 whore holes, okay? That's what I'm saying.
How many does their soul have?
Again, at least 3.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misspoke. All right. So later, after the whore hole filling.
Yeah. So after they get to the Stuppen. Sorry. After they get to the Stuppen and the sleeping, Riley busts in.
He does, in fact. And because of course he does.
Yeah.
And Spike taunts him just straight out of the gate. Because of course he does.
She has been keeping it quiet that she's fucking Spike for months.
And then she just has a real bad 2 weeks.
One day, Riley shows up one day and he finds him.
Yeah. The one day that she's supposed to be out patrolling and looking for this demon while she knows her ex is in town and is an excellent tracker.
Yeah.
What are the odds? What are the damn odds? Because Spike's like, well, looky here. I don't usually use the word delicious, but I've got to wager this little tableau must sting a bit. Me and your former must kill, what can I say? Girl just needs a little monster in her, man.
Yeah, he loves rubbing that in.
He does. And I realized, especially in this scene, he's just doing that as a form of emotional manipulation.
Yes.
Like he knows that he thinks anyway, that that's going to dig at him the most.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because Riley's an emotional husk.
Right. I do like that he's so confident he does nothing to cover up. He's just... out there.
Yeah, he
does not care.
Just dangling his bits, lets him flap around a little bit extra just to brag.
But more specifically, so Riley accuses him of being the doctor. He, of course, denies it. Buffy kind of defends him, but in a I don't really believe that he is the doctor sort of way.
Yeah. Well, Spike did a pretty good job of lying his ass off here, I gotta say. He just keeps jabbing at Riley, because he's like, last time I saw you, you were getting the juice sucked out of you by some undead ladies, which I'd totally forgotten about. And, oh, yeah. As if you didn't have enough points against you already, Riley.
No, Riley is 100% positive that Spike is who he's looking for.
Yeah.
Which I don't doubt he has good information on that. Like, for fuck's sake, he's also a very good tracker.
Yeah.
And
I still don't believe that Spike's the doctor, because he seems legitimately confused. He knows what he's talking about.
Right. I have thoughts on it.
Sure.
Riley declares that he's going to start tearing the place apart and search downstairs. To one of my quotes of the day, Spike tells him, "Over my dead body," and Riley's response is, "I've seen enough of your dead body tonight."
That was one of my quotes of the day too. Yeah. But yeah, Riley's so confident. Spike just keeps trying to distract him by emotionally manipulating him, and he even goes so far as he says, "She's not your bint anymore. She always had a little thing for me." And I'm like, wow, you brought out the B word. That's not cool, man. No. Especially she can hear you.
Yeah. And then there's definitely a certain angle to this that, is that term? Negging.
Yeah.
Like, Spike is doing that to Buffy. Like he fucking knows that she is with him solely because she's depressed and feels awful. So he is doing everything he can to layer on more self-hatred.
I'm not sure that he knows it consciously, but his evil reflexes certainly play into it. Absolutely. And he also just turns straight to gaslighting. As soon as Riley mentions the eggs, he's like, "Oh fuck, this guy's really onto me."
Right.
And he's like, "Eggs? You're off your nut. It must be those drugs that they were keeping you on. I did warn you." It's like just another thing that he knows is sensitive for Riley. But and then
he has this is an impressive record of bringing up every possible thing within one conversation.
This scene was a great example of how masterful of a liar he is.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive. If it weren't so evil,
right,
I would be proud of it. Even Buffy believes him and tries to side with Spike, and he's like, "Oh, you don't need to help me, love." And that was the first thing that really made me suspicious. I was like, he's got a little bit of guilt.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do that. But Riley's not buying it. He promises to tear the place apart till he finds them. He waits for Buffy to join him, or rather, he invites her to join him. Spike's like, "No, there's nothing to see down there." Blah, blah, blah. And they
the moment that they're like, "Oh, we're going downstairs," and his reaction is, "Oh, there's nothing down there."
Yeah.
Like, it's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, so the eggs are down there. Okay. And so they climb down the ladder and immediately find eggs. And Riley's like, "Oh, fuck, you didn't freeze them. We're going to need more weapons." And Spike's right behind them like, "I can explain. They're for a friend." And Buffy punches him in the face like a bad cat. Not that there are any bad cats, but if there were. And Buffy's like, "No more games." And Spike's like, "Oh, that's rich coming from you." Quote of the day here. Riley says, "Can you shut him up?" Buffy's like, "Not so far."
Yeah. That was also one of mine.
Nice. You've taken enough of mine. I needed to get.
Yeah, it's fair. And then, of course, immediately the eggs start hatching.
Yeah, Spike fucks off, and of course the eggs all hatch right now, and they try to fight them.
I love that for some fucking reason, Riley tosses Buffy a gun, and she's immediately like, "I don't use guns."
Yeah, that was so
And then
stupid.
she tries to shoot it, and of course can't fucking hit anything because she doesn't use guns.
Yeah. I mean, even if you do use guns, those things were fast.
Yeah.
That's a difficult shot.
It's like trying to shoot fucking cockroaches.
Yeah. Why didn't he keep the gun?
Right.
And hand her the taser.
Because for fuck's sake, he knows how to use the gun.
Exactly. That was so stupid. Like, I don't even want to waste any time on that.
No,
That's how stupid that was.
They immediately run out and run away. And Buffy does the one smart thing here and pulls all the fucking grenades off his belt at once and drops them into the fucking crypt and blows it the hell up.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, fucking finally.
Yeah.
And she shoves...
2 birds with one stone. Fuck over Spike and kill the eggs.
Yep. And she shoves Riley off to the side and jumps on top of him for old time's sake. Giggity. And they wait for the explosion again for old time's sake. See what I did there? You know, because that's just what you do when you're laying on top of each other. You wait for the explosion. At least that's what they taught me in middle school sex education. Nope. You don't have to do anything. You just lay there.
Don't move.
You wait, and something will explode, I promise.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy, was that bad advice.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. A couple of my exes out there right now, like, well, that explains everything.
That joke makes me think of the term soaking. Do you know what that is?
I can guess. Go ahead and tell me. Like, I want to see if I'm right.
It apparently is
when... My guess here is that you insert the penis into the vagina and you don't pump, you just leave it there for a while. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly it. Apparently, it's a thing that some people do to, like, preserve virginity or something.
Huh?
Because it's
not how that works.
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir, I can see here.
Right. That is definitely not how that works. And I don't think that anyone ever successfully has done it.
Yeah. I mean, doing that.
Just my assumption is that nobody on the planet has ever successfully just done soaking.
No. That's a nice way to warm up if you need to. It might be TMI here, but if you're worried about your stamina. TMI. All right.
Maybe.
But only for a minute. It's not like the whole event.
Anyway.
You got to acclimate to the water. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
You know how when you jump in a cold pool, it just hits you right in the chest? Well, that's exactly like sex, Rex.
Cut to Xander's bathroom. Anya and Xander are hiding in the bathroom from their guests. The whole conversation, you're hearing shit, like people yelling at each other and shit breaking.
Sure.
They actually conclude the conversation on a note that is very important. Xander is talking about Sam and Riley and going on and on about it. And of course, Anya is feeling insecure and like, why the fuck are you going on and on about it? And asking about their wedding. Xander does explain he doesn't really know anything about their marriage or their wedding. And this starts the conversation of, are they stupid for getting married? Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Like, this is a fucking train wreck. They hate what they're doing. This planning a wedding is awful. And this conversation works out to where they come to the conclusion correctly that our wedding is not our marriage. And if the wedding is going bad, that doesn't mean the marriage is bad.
Right.
Now, granted, their marriage is bad and they definitely should not be getting married, but still.
But that's a different box of cockroaches.
That's a different problem. But like, they correctly come to this conclusion in this scene, and that pleases me.
He's so cute.
You didn't sense a hyena energy at all, did you? Because hyena possession is just unpleasant.
Run, flee, maybe skedaddle.
Oh, I miss the free hot dogs on sticks.
Cut to the magic box.
Yeah.
Or just outside the magic box.
Outside the magic box, where Riley is offering to kill Spike. And Buffy's like, wow, really? I'm kind of fucking him. Where else do you think I'm going to get hot dickings at all hours of the night and day? Certainly not you, Riley. Do you mind?
I mean, unless you and Sam have an open marriage...
No.
They don't seem to.
Yeah, they're not new agey enough for that. Buffy accuses Riley of throwing his perfect little life all up in her face and then gets super self-deprecating, and he's like, hey, none of that matters. You're still an amazing woman. Because she's all self-conscious about, I work at the fast food restaurant and I hate myself for fucking this guy that I don't actually like. And this is kind of the only spot where I give Riley any kudos. He's like, none of that matters. You're an amazing woman. And here's where Buffy almost communicates with him, just barely, for a heartbeat of a moment, almost tells him that she tried to fucking flag him down when he was leaving with this bullshit ultimatum that he had given her. You need to give me a reason to stay. Otherwise, I'm taking this job where you can't contact me forever and ever now.
Yeah.
But I think what happened here was maybe she decided that is what would have been truly pathetic. And she instead opts to say, Riley, that night, I never got the chance to tell you how sorry I was about what happened between us. And it's very obvious that's not what she was going to say when she first opened her mouth. Because it doesn't clear anything up between the two of them, but it does seem to make her feel better.
More importantly, you can tell that she realizes telling him that does zero good.
It would fuck up his marriage, because he clearly is still into her.
Not necessarily that it would fuck up his marriage. I don't necessarily think it would, but it definitely would. It would have a negative effect on him. It would bring back all of these feelings that he's already worked through. He has had to hard
do
air quotes worked
for, or his wife did it for him.
But like, it's throwing a wrench into somebody else's relationship that you don't need to do. There's no reason for that.
Yeah,
and
she got what she needed.
Yeah,
and he's doing fine.
Exactly. So like, she realizes that it would be a stab to them both for no benefit,
and also especially because he forgives her immediately. Because she says, I never got a chance to tell you how sorry I was about what happened between us. And his immediate response, without even thinking about it, is, and you never have to.
Right.
Pure forgiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Who cares that there's no real communication here? It's still a happy ending.
Yeah. And I do really appreciate that they had Riley's character grow. And like, it's obvious that him leaving was the thing that he needed to do. It was good for him to leave. He is at least in a better place now than he was then.
Absolutely.
So like,
yeah, he was already crashing and burning in their relationship. There's no reason to try and get that back.
Right.
No,
like, their relationship was done already. Whether or not either of them wanted to be in it, it was broken beyond repair.
Yeah. Trust on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Really exactly. So like, him leaving was the best thing for both of them.
Mm-hmm. Mostly trust on his.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they both get some closure out of it, and Buffy absolutely made the right decision in that moment here. So Sam, Xander, Willow, and Dawn all come out of the shop, all buddy-buddy. Sam's regaling the story of their stolen helicopter wedding. She tells Willow to email her anytime. Even Dawn gets her proper goodbye from Riley. He asks her if he warrants a hug, and my answer would have been, go fuck yourself, but she's like, yay, Riley hug! And he's like, goodbye, Dawn. And Dawn's like, I thought it would suck less this time. It doesn't. Boo-hoo.
Yeah. Because
I was super attached to Riley, we're retconning in. That's what she said. Yep. And I'm like, this scene, again, the way they framed this moment, I'm like, Christ on a cracker, who's dating who?
Right.
Is Riley hooking up with Dawn? What is going on? So Sam and Riley clip into a fucking wire dangling from this chopper that flies over them now.
Which, like, Is it really Black Ops if you're in the middle of downtown Sunnydale with a fucking helicopter?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Couldn't they? There's no rush here. Couldn't they have just found a helipad and met them there?
Right. Or like, you know, got a car to take you to a fucking airfield.
Nope. Instead, they had to dramatic.
Black Ops my ass.
Yeah, they need a dramatic flourish and a ridiculous final line where Sam says, "You ready for Nepal, Agent?" And Riley says, "Firefights, big hunts, big body counts. Yeah, I could use a break." And then they might as well have played something as triumphant as the motherfucking Top Gun theme song. Because they fly off into the night, leaving us with a completely unwarranted fuzzy feeling about a character that could have been pretty all right if they'd let him, but then they wrote him into an asshole because healthy relationships don't get as good of ratings.
My favorite part is that they get lifted off the ground, and then the helicopter starts to fly away. So, like, they weren't in the helicopter.
Yeah, it's just going to fly away.
They're just dangling from the helicopter as it starts to fly away.
Yeah, like, in an emergency situation, I can see doing that, but this is literally just a casual pickup.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Just for dramatic effect. So...
Like, no, you guys don't get to ride in the helicopter. You get to fucking dangle as we, like, swing you around and shit. My favorite part, though, is that at the tail end, as they're flying away, Dawn and Xander go inside, and Willow and Buffy are just standing there, and Willow's like, "What a bitch."
Yeah. That was the best moment, hands down, of the entire episode.
And then, of course, Buffy's like, "Actually, I kind of like her," and Willow's like, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah.
But you know what? Willow did her job. She liked Sam, but was still like, that bitch.
Oh, yeah. No, she kept her word.
Yeah. Willow did a good job.
She is a good friend. So just to wrap things up, we're at Spike's crypt.
Yes.
Spike is pouting and mourning over his crypt, which got blowed up. And he doesn't seem super excited to see Buffy, but is still willing to shag, if she wants to. Far be it from him
he puts it, the bed was never really their thing.
It wasn't really our thing, so wherever, I guess. It's kind of dirty, but, but she's not here for that.
They were once under a rug.
Yeah.
Like,
but she's not here for that, and she's not here to scold him about the egg scheme either. She's like, I know you're a fucking idiot. That's, of course
right.
You would. And now he knows something's off because, she's there to break up with him.
Yep.
And he pushes back like usual, but it's different this time. She even admits that she wants him and that it makes things easier for a little while. And Spike says, "I don't call 5 hours straight a little while."
Right.
That's funny. Giggity.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. She blurts out, "I'm using you," which he's clearly fine with.
Right.
And follows up with, "It's killing me." And that's really what shuts him up.
Yes.
This seems to actually resonate with him now. And he recognizes that maybe for the first time that he's actually hurting her by being with her.
Yeah.
And it seems like in this moment, he realizes that maybe, just maybe, it might have been a little bit wrong for him to manipulate her.
I don't think he thinks that for a second.
Okay.
And I think the only thing we're seeing is that he can see in her that there's nothing he can do about it.
Oh, that's bleak.
But
let's debate that later.
Okay.
So he's giving her the sad puppy dog eyes, and she says, "I'm sorry, William." And this line just fucking gutted me.
Really?
I was like, now you treat him like a person? God damn it, Buffy. I thought she was, the whole episode, I was like, oh, she's finally going to come around to accepting Spike as her fucking boyfriend. But instead she breaks up with him because using him hurts her so much.
No.
Fuck me.
No,
it just feels like such a puritanical storyline.
First off,
Gerarg.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Nights I shall walk in the earth.
Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
I don't think that it's that. I can see why it looks like that. But what I see is this whole fucking season, Buffy has been depressed and numb, and life has just been beating her down over and over again. We have all been there because capitalism sucks. But this episode and seeing Riley again made her remember who the fuck she is. Mm-hmm. She's the goddamn Slayer, and Spike is gonna spike. Like he is an evil vampire, and he's gonna do evil vampire things.
Yeah.
Not only is what she's doing bad for him, it's bad for her.
Yeah.
It's bad for everyone involved because it makes her blind to his stupidity. Mm-hmm. This is all the shit that she's realized from this. This moment is an awesome moment for her because it's the first moment in the entire season where she is awake and alive. Yes. And herself.
Yes, I agree with all that now. What I was saying earlier was really just how I felt in the moment. But then, as she's walking out, we see the morning sunlight on her face and what is a very weak, but definitely there, a smile.
Yeah.
She's finally happy with a decision.
She's proud of herself.
That she's made, yes. She finally has some self-respect and self-love coming back into her life. And that, while it's disappointing to me for other reasons, that usurps that and is much better for her. And I'm like, okay, she did the right thing.
Yeah.
But still, she's just now choosing to humanize Spike. I wonder if things could have been different between them had she chose to do that earlier instead of just thinking of him as a monster. Because I think we run into this kind of headbutt argument every time. You kind of just think he's a two-dimensional monster, and everything he does is motivated by his base desires in some sort of malicious way. And I think what makes Spike a special vampire is that he does have a little bit of good in him. Just a little bit. And he's really just kind of he's a dog that got mistreated and turned into a bad dog.
I will give this. There is something about Spike that makes him less of a two-dimensional evil monster. There is something. Mm-hmm. But my point has been that while there is something about him that makes him maybe the sliver of human, he is still, at the end of the day, a soulless monster.
Yes.
And with what happens later proves that. Now, I will say that, and we will get there eventually, but after the shit that happens with him and Buffy and he leaves and goes and gets a soul, that is redemption for multiple reasons. But this moment and this relationship as it works with these characters right now, not once he has a soul, right now, whatever sliver of humanity he has is not capable of actually having in any form a good relationship with her.
He's certainly not capable of having a healthy relationship with her to any extent, but I still feel like there was a little bit more there when she said, "and it's killing me." I think there was a little bit more there. Not much, but just a little bit more than him thinking, "Oh God, I can't change her mind." I think there was a little bit of empathy. The tiniest sliver of a bit of empathy.
Maybe. The thing about it is, for me, with their relationship, what really comes across is, and what she admits here, she does want him. Yeah. She is sexually attracted to him.
She better be. Right. After all that.
Yeah. But like, what she is saying here is that she is sexually attracted to him, but nothing else.
Yeah, I get that.
And like, that is not puritanical bullshit. That's just not right.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's puritanical of her to feel that way.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that sex for sex's sake is somehow morally bad. What I'm saying is that, like, fucking somebody with disregard to everyone involved is just fucked up.
Yeah. I guess my original take on that was it's not puritanical of her to feel that way, but it seems old-fashioned and quaint of them to write her character so that she feels bad about it. I mean, it does fit her character. Like, she does this hyper-moralizing thing.
I mean, yeah.
Whereas I'm like, get your rocks off. Why you got to feel guilty about it? He don't care.
And, like, I don't see anything, like, if, in all honesty, if she were to have her change of mind be, you know what, I enjoy this, I'm not ashamed of it anymore.
Yeah.
That's different. That would be, if that's the direction they want to take the character, that can be just as empowering as what she does.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
The point I'm making, though, is that with what we have been shown of what she's been through and how she views Spike, there isn't an avenue for her to have a healthy respect for herself and stay in a physical relationship with him. She doesn't trust him. She views him as a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just not healthy. Whether, because she disregards his feelings, she knows that she has a power over him because he's obsessed with her. And she's using that to her advantage. Like, that's just bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where she's been hitting this wall this whole time, is because she knows that what she is doing to Spike and using him in the way that she is just as manipulative as he is, just as wrong as he is. And it makes her feel like she's not the good guy.
Sure. And regardless of what it's doing to him, she's got an icky feeling about it, because she shouldn't be with somebody that she doesn't have any respect for, and yeah, that's all based on their history, and that can't change, and that, so yeah, it was probably always going to play out this way, but somebody pitched to me a few months ago, I want to say, that Spike really at the end of the day is just a big golden retriever who really, he's a hopeless romantic. He's got a lot of love to give, and he just wants to make that partner happy, like a big golden retriever. And the original way that he learned how to do that was with Drusilla, which was in a completely fucked up, just be as depraved as possible, and that's how you do that. But as soon as he learns that that's not how to win Buffy's heart and she is his new fixation, he tries really hard, but it's too deeply embedded in him to see any real change in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and he's also, because he is a vampire, like, they're fundamentally unable to change.
And since she saw him in his former state, she's never, no matter how much he changes, she's never going to trust it. And that makes perfect sense. But I do believe that he was capable of getting there. He just still never had a chance.
I don't think he is capable.
And he didn't
of
necessarily
there.
deserve a chance.
I don't think he is capable of getting there without a soul.
Yes, I was going to put the cherry on top there, but he had enough motivation to convince himself as a vampire without a soul that he needed to get his soul so that he could do that.
Not yet.
I know.
There's still one really bad thing that has to happen.
Okay. Well,
we will get there.
We'll pick this up again when we get there.
I do want to say, the one last thing I want to say is, I don't believe for a second that Spike has ever been some international arms dealer. His whole attitude when they find the eggs is, this is something that I just happen to, like, stumble into.
He's an opportunist.
And I have the opportunity to peddle these eggs and I don't know what I'm doing with them.
Right.
But it's money. And that fits his character perfectly. And I think that somebody else just labeled him as the doctor. And like, he's like, okay, fine.
Right. Either
like, that makes sense.
Either that or the doctor is somebody else who is using him to store the eggs for now.
And maybe.
Either
but
way,
I think he probably was just, hey, I can make a lot of money doing this.
He consorts with the type of people. Like, I believe just because we don't see it very often, obviously he's still hanging out with Clem. He's probably still playing cards in that demon bar.
Yeah.
Nearly several nights a week.
The fact that he didn't refrigerate the eggs tells you 100% he doesn't know what he's into.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's not an international arms dealer.
No.
But he's working with one.
Yeah.
Because he got some quick cash out of it.
Exactly.
And he had some space available.
And he has zero empathy and doesn't give a shit about rules. So
yeah,
fuck it. I'd peddle some eggs right now. They're anywhere between 50 cents to $1 a pop right now.
But
fuck
also, if he thought hard enough about it, a long time ago, he said that his big secret is he actually likes this world. It's got Manchester United and people running around like Happy Meals on legs.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads me to believe that he would not want to see demons wipe out full cities.
Right. But he likes money.
But he knows it's not going to destroy the whole world, so I guess he can live with a couple of cities getting wiped out.
All in all, there was a bit of this episode being too much of a love letter to Riley.
Yeah. So Geraint specifically said that he's seen people twist themselves into pretzels trying to explain away why Spike is suddenly an international arms dealer. So, Geraint, I want you to get back with us. I know you will anyway, whether I say this or not, but I'm curious. I don't feel like we were pretzel twisting on that. I feel like this is plausible.
If anything, Spike is a patsy for someone.
Absolutely.
That's
on board with that.
Like, that makes sense. I think he's just a patsy.
From a metagaming standpoint, he seemed too legitimately confused at being called the Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a full scope of what was going on.
If the Doctor was his moniker, he'd explained it.
Right.
Because he would have been proud of the explanation.
Or it'd come back later and be like, haha, I really am the Doctor. But it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think what makes this episode a love letter to Riley is the fawning that some of the characters do.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of like, okay, they're trying to be polite because of the situation, but they're also just a little too polite.
They're all a little too polite, but even completely regardless of all of that, I think there were a lot of things here that the writers, and I think this was written by Jane Espenson. I don't want to shit talk Jane Espenson because she's done some good things. She's done a lot of good for this show. So when we say, quote unquote, the writers, I think we're directly talking about her for this episode. But that being said, this whole episode reads to me like somebody liked the character Riley so much that they were upset when the fan base started hating him because they had to find a way to write him off the show, and they wanted to bring him back and give him a redemption arc. But they didn't take enough. I
don't even think they were going with that.
They didn't take enough into account.
I think that they brought Riley in because they were at a loss for what would work to shake Buffy out of what she's in.
Yeah, that was absolutely the main point.
And they couldn't bring Giles back in.
They've done Angel.
Angel wouldn't have shook her the way she needed to. She needed something to break her out and be like, "You are the Slayer. Stop it."
I think Angel could have, but it would have been less impactful.
It would have been less impactful, and she needed a reminder of who she was and what she is. So, like,
And Riley was a good device for
Right.
that at the end of the day.
And I think this episode did it well.
But it did kind of turn into a Riley circle jerk for a minute.
There's a little too much of like, okay, we're going to really gloss over a lot of this other shit.
Like their exit did not need to be so ridiculously like it felt like the scene was fawning over him, not the characters.
But overall, I actually did like this episode.
There was clearly a lot of meat on this episode for us to chew into.
Yes.
So, yeah, I got to give it kudos for that.
Do you have a quote of the day?
So I'm torn between my hat has a cow on it. And, that's at the very beginning. And then,
I almost picked that.
And then the very ending where she says, "I'm sorry, William," because that was a slap in the face. Because I was not expecting it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to use his actual name either.
I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
Man, I had such a different feeling about that scene. I was like, yes, fucking dump his ass.
Well,
the William to me was more twist of the knife, like, fuck you. I had very different energy there.
Anyway, yeah, what was your quote of the day?
I'm going straightforward. Did you die? No. I'm going to win.
Ha. Nice.
I like it so much because it's a very pure Buffy line.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't get enough of those lately. This whole episode is me feeling like she's coming back. She's going to be herself again.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. I miss her. We've gotten glimpses, but like, I feel like it's going to happen now. We're going to get the full Buffy experience.
Yeah.
Less depressed Buffy.
Yeah. No, I think we're definitely out of that slump. That seemed to be what this was all about. So she fucking better be out of that slump.
Yeah. Granted, in real life, now you get to do lots of therapy, but and it will be a very gradual change. But in TV world, we get you had that moment. Now you're happy again.
And now we get to focus on Willow after this. I don't know if that's next episode, but it's soon.
Next is Xander wedding.
Right. Well,
this has been another episode of Beer with Buffy. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. We post there periodically. We love answering questions and responding on there. You can follow us on Blue Sky. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so on those platforms, but you can also email us, beerwithbuffy@gmail.com, or you can give us a text or leave a voicemail at our voicemail line,
269-743-0783.
If you'd like to support our show, you can do that in a number of ways. The number one way, though, is give us an iTunes review. And remember, if you give us an iTunes review and you send us an email with a screenshot of that review, we will send you a free sticker. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do that by joining our Patreon, become one of our executive doodle-doos. Or if you'd like to exchange your money for stuff, you can do that by shopping in our store, beerwithbuffy.com/shop. This has been another episode of Beer with Buffy. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
Have a good night.
Keanu Speed, Rex.
Reeves be with you.
Whoa.
You are the Slayer. Lives depend upon you. I make allowances for your years, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
You are the Slayer.
Go ahead. Prepare me.
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on.
By appealing to your common sense. Earwolves, incubi, succubi, everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day.
One gal in all the world.
Common sense.
One gal in all the world.
Was a bit, British, wasn't it?
What have we done? Why are we watching this?